Everything should be about England, and England having a fantastic performance against Serbia, getting the first 3 points on the board in the Euros. It wasn't fantastic, it was anything but yes, they cannot be the only ones in the headlines. Of course, Manchester United have to have their piece. So what's happened? Erik Ten Hag has been talking on Dutch football. Funnily enough, not covering the Holland game earlier on today, but covering the Manchester United game, the England game tonight against Serbia. Working for Dutch TV, a lot of questions have been asked, and Ten Hag has been opening up about what is going on with Manchester United right now, where he is, where the contract situations are. He's been filling some questions in regarding Marcus Rashford as well, and players that were missing for England, going in on a couple of players, including him and Rashford and Jack Grealish as well. But more importantly, what everyone is looking into is how Ten Hag actually was told what was going on with the candidates, how Manchester United have been open with them. He's gone in on, not so much gone in on Ineos, but he's talking about Ineos and how they took their time, how things have run differently in England, and just completely opening up on Dutch TV about the situation in Manchester United right now. And it's interesting to go through it because he's also said that there is no agreement yet, and Manchester United and Ineos have got a lot more talking to do before we agree on it. So Ten Hag and that whole bullish side of things that we thought he was going in on, and what was reportedly happening about the way he wanted to renegotiate his own contract at Manchester United, not just being a pawn for Ineos' big pieces behind to move around the board. He's actually going in here and making sure that he's covering himself again. He is a very, very stubborn man, our manager Erik Ten Hag, and he is holding his own against Ineos, and there is no agreement in place yet. Let's get into what Ten Hag has said. Please give the video a like, guys. It's late. I know it's extra content again for you guys. I didn't think I was going to be doing another one today. There was nothing going on, but until the England game popped up, Ten Hag has been talking. We do not know what has been said before, but we do know now. So Erik has said pretty much, let's get into it. I said this. Please give the video a like and subscribe, guys, by the way. FUTV all the way. Let's keep it going. Okay, so what was said? Erik Ten Hag talking on Dutch TV. Erik Ten Hag, actually, let's go right back to the start of what was said and where he's been talking. So, Erik Ten Hag, Manchester United disturbed my holiday. They suddenly stood at my doorstep, which is a weird one. Manchester United and I still have to find an agreement for a new contract. This isn't easily done. We are still going to have to talk about this. Erik Ten Hag also talks about Manchester United have told me that they spoke to Thomas Tuchel, but they eventually came to the conclusion that they already have the best manager. Oh my God! Like, talk about full of yourself, Erik. Jesus. No, this is worrying for me now, and I don't want to go down this sort of people's agenda that Adam's got about Ten Hag and stuff like that, but fuck off, Erik. Seriously, mate, you can't come out and say that. They come to the conclusion that they've already got the best manager. You won the FA Cup. You got away with last season, mate, and we've given you a chance, and everyone's accepted that you are the manager now. Don't start rubbing salt in the bleeding wound, taking the piss right now. You're lucky to be in a job. Everyone knows it. He thinks he's the bleeding messiah in the way he's talking. I didn't know he said this, to be honest. It's the first time I've read it, so it's my instant reaction. Apologies for any bad language or anything like that, but shut up. Like, seriously, no, Erik, you're not the best manager for the job. The best manager wasn't available. That's all we had left. The others in Ineos' eyes weren't what they wanted. They weren't the best in class. Oh, that's annoyed me the way he said that. He could have just kept quiet and said we're just negotiating. Didn't have to say that. Oh, God, but they're miles away from an agreement. United disturbed my holiday. I'm sorry for disturbing your bleeding holiday, Erik. Like, seriously, do you want a job or not? Christ. The front of the man. Seriously. Oh, God. Erik Ten Hag. The Netherlands, ? We played excellent. The first game was always very difficult, talking about the Netherlands and everything that's happened in the tournament so far. Ten Hag then going into conversation about Ineos. Ineos took their time. They are new to football. Wrong, again. Oh, Jesus, Eric. Talk about endearing yourself to the new owners. Don't take the piss now you've got the job. Christ. It's normal to reflect on the season. It's no secret that they talked to multiple candidates. This is basically Ten Hag getting pissed off that Ineos actually talked to other people about the job. Wow. Oh, here in Holland, this is not done. In fact, it's not even allowed here. But in England, they have a different rules and laws. That's Ten Hag talking about Ineos taking their time and reflecting on the season. Honestly, Eric, stay quiet and just get on with your job. Like, honestly, you're talking like this was nailed on, and it was an insult that you were even being considered for the job in the first place. Oh, guys, I'm coming into the chat to see where you guys are at with this right now, but it's taking the piss. It's taking the absolute piss for me. Like, say, just like, you're in. Yeah, we've accepted it, Eric. Do I have to make it worse? God. Eric Ten Hag can't talk, can't walk away. He still has 1 year left in his existing contract. So even if he doesn't sign a new deal, he is obliged to see it through. Yeah, of course he is. But you don't talk about the owners the way he has done. And you don't talk like you are the best manager out there right now. Because that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. God. Come on, like, we're just accepting that you are the best for the situation right now, Eric. Like, everyone was getting on with it, and then you go and big yourself up again. Like, oh, Jamal says Ten Hag out. He's not going out, and I'm not saying that we're changing our minds or anything here or anything like that. And this has to be brought up, but like, honestly, like, if you're trying to negotiate a contract after our worst ever Premier League season. And you're saying that this doesn't happen in Holland. Like, I'm sorry, you're not in Holland anymore, Eric. You're in the Premier League, the richest and best league in the world. And you're lucky to be here, having finished worse than United have ever finished in our history in that division. And he's bigging it up like I think they came to the conclusion that I am the best manager. And that's why they've kept him. They already had the best manager. I mean, lost in translation maybe, and I'll give him the benefit of doubt there and things like that, but come on, you don't... Jesus, he's a star, isn't he, Eric? I tell you what, he's got balls, the lad, I give him that. He has got some balls. This is out of context, says Jackoff. I'm pure BS. I watched Studio Football and he didn't say they disturbed him on holiday and said Ineos told him he fits best in their project. So toxic. This is fake news. So how are the quote unquotes coming through then, Jackoff? It's still the same. Like, for me, Ten Hag, the big thing out of it is there's no agreement. The big issue here is, like, you can forget about the bullshit and him talking. Like, he's got balls, it's out of context, whatever it is. He takes the piss, I think, in what he says anyway. Everyone knows that. All right? He tries to convince us we're watching something we're not. So, in terms of the issue here, like the headline says it there's no agreement yet. So, the big story out of all of it and what is being said there is that Ten Hag hasn't agreed a deal yet with Ineos. So, there's a pass, isn't there? There is. It's a situation where Ten Hag thinks he deserves more power than what Ineos are offering him, I feel. He wants more say. And again, I think we said it yesterday, that this to me just proves that Ineos had no influence at all on Ten Hag in the last few games of the season, like people have been saying. And Wilcox said, do this, do that, and all of that bollocks. I don't think that was happening. Ten Hag would not let it happen. The way that Ten Hag's talking right now, there's not a chance in hell that would have happened. The big problem we've got is that there's no settlement so far. They're still talking. You've got the likes of Fabrizio Romano and other people coming out and saying United are very, very close to agreeing a deal with Ten Hag and a new contract is coming. And then Ten Hag comes on national TV in Holland and says, no, it's not. Settle down. What are you talking about? We're still discussing it. We're still a way off what's been agreed from both sides. So, yeah, I look at it and I go, I think Ten Hag would do that in his situation that he's in right now. I think he would. And he wants to make sure that he's safe. And I've said this before, like, if Ineos give Ten Hag the job, then you're opening the door to needing to fully back him. And to fully back him, you need to give him a new contract first of all. Set out the terms in that contract that suit you and get Ten Hag on board with. That's where we're at. That's what we've got to do. And right now, Ten Hag is in the position, and he's in the stronger position, I feel, because there's no one else available. He's got 2 trophies behind him, and he's just taking Ineos. He's not taking them to the cleaners or anything, or ripping them off or getting even more out of them. But I feel like he wants insurance. That's what I feel this is about. And why there's a delay? Like, if he doesn't agree a deal in the next couple of weeks, don't be surprised, because it's like he said, this is not normal. In his eyes, this is not normal, and he's arguing against the system that is the Premier League. So he's sticking to his morals, he's sticking to his guns, and he's saying, look, I want a deal that suits me. He said it before, and I keep bringing up that interview when he first signed for United. The only reason I would sign for United is because I had complete control over the transfers. If I don't have complete control of the transfers, it's a no-go for me. So you know that Ten Hag's an hard negotiator when it comes to his own contract anyway. So you look at it and you go, them not agreeing is Ten Hag more saying, look, no, I've got this contract that I'm on now. This was the one that suited me. I want something similar to this. Ineos have to stand strong on this, but Ineos are not in a powerful position, like I said, because it's already come out in public that they've kept Ten Hag. It's already out in common knowledge around that they weren't impressed with any of the other candidates. So they're stuck with Eric Ten Hag now, Ineos. They can't back out on it. So Ten Hag is in the power position here, and he's just making sure that he's looked after himself. And you know what? We may not like it. Some may not like Ten Hag and still not happy that he's in the job. But you cannot say that Ten Hag is wrong in asking for insurances about his contract and where United are going, because there's always that rumour that if it isn't going well again, and it's similar to last season, that Ineos will just pull the plug on Ten Hag. I think they're looking to it. They're looking to insure themselves, and so is Ten Hag. Like, if something goes wrong, Ineos want to be able to pull the plug and bring someone else in this season. I think Ten Hag's probably arguing against that. There could be loads of different permutations going on right now and scenarios if something does happen in a season or doesn't happen in a season. And this is where contract negotiations go deep, and you find out who really is in charge. And you've got to look at Ten Hag. I think he's right in asking for insurance regarding himself and not being flung out if things are at a certain stage. Ineos have set this standards bar, and they're going to be going in on Ten Hag and saying you need to be at this level to actually warrant staying on and keeping this contract going. So on that side of it, I see both. So who wins? Who wins out of this? Like, Ineos need to get a manager on board that's willing to go forward with Manchester United this season. They need someone in that hot seat. They cannot afford to really upset Ten Hag right now they've committed. And this was always the problem when Ineos decided to keep him. Like, every manager coming in is probably going to bow down to Ineos. But they've kept the man that's been there before, that's seen what it was like before, and has still got a taste for what it was like before, and he likes what was there before. What Ineos are coming in to change, Ten Hag does not like. He doesn't like someone else coming in stepping on his toes. It's quite clear. So when it comes to the absolute bollocks that came out in the media regarding Wilcox, like I said before, then that's been proven and put to bed with what Ten Hag has said now. And that's right. I haven't got a problem with that. This is all Ten Hag. Like, his team, his formation, his tactics, this is what he should be judged on. Ineos don't need to get involved in any of that at all. This is what the manager or the head coach, whoever it is, should be doing with Manchester United. Let them deal with the stuff above, and then it comes together. And you can blame Ten Hag for the performances on the pitch, and you can blame Ineos for the lack of players or lack of quality of players that have come through. And then argue the point between, like, who is more at fault? Ineos for not getting the right type of players, Ten Hag for not getting the most out of the players. It could be the complete opposite, and United end up getting back into the top 4 because everything worked together. So there is a chance that this might actually work for United yet. So the big problem is the commitment factor. For a 3-year project to start for Sir Jim Ratcliffe now, and this to move forward for United, it needs to be everybody synced in, all in the same direction, all know the direction that we're going, and everyone on board with the full plan. And right now, it doesn't, to me, look like there is that. I don't think there is that understanding. I definitely don't think there is from the Ten Hag side of things. And I feel like this is where he's negotiating in now. He wants more power. Tony Bond says, I told you before, Adam, I think Ineos wants him to resign, so there's no compo. That's why it will drag on with Ineos playing hardball over less power for Erik Ten Hag. I can't see Ineos giving him the power. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So this could come to a head, and Ten Hag could actually, do you know what? Ten Hag could just say F you. He could. But what this doesn't help is Man United. It doesn't. Like, I don't want Ten Hag arguing about a contract. I'd rather him be in a contract, settled, have something what he wants, and then we can judge Ten Hag on next season. Ineos have committed, so they're the ones who are going to have to fork out the money if it goes wrong for Ten Hag and pay him out of his contract and pay the compensation. It's down to them. They're the ones that give Ten Hag this deal or negotiating this deal or give him a second chance. So this is on them, not Ten Hag. I ain't got no issue with Ten Hag arguing his corner right now. I've got an issue with what he's saying and how bullish he is, but I always have done, to be honest. I just don't like it. He is... there is something endearing to it about his confidence and his stubbornness. There is. And you can see he's a manager, can't you? You really can. But everything else... you've got to look at it and go, I feel Ten Hag is probably within his right to argue these points right now. But we're not bothered. We just want a decision made. Like we did before with knowing who was going to be the manager. We want now to know if Ten Hag is the future manager of the project. What might happen if Ten Hag doesn't make it and the football's still as crap as it was last season? We'll deal with that then. And that's up to Ineos. I think that's where they're struggling now. I think that's where the delay is now. Because if it does go wrong, they're not going to want to fork out a fortune in compensation. They're bringing people in who have got experience in these situations now, and they know exactly where this is going to go. So where it's going to go is down to Ineos having to fork out their own money again just to get rid of a manager that's failed. All of this could be completely irrelevant and Ten Hag smashes it next season. You don't know. You just don't know. But you've got to look at it and go, it's not helping anything right now situation-wise with Manchester United. And yeah, well, that is the problem that Ineos are going to have to deal with now. Like I said, they're the ones that committed to this. They're the ones that have now got to iron it out and make sure that everything is covered and Ten Hag is happy. He's your man. Ten Hag is an Ineos man. So make sure he's happy and make sure that he's fully committed to Manchester United, because a manager that's unsure and a manager that's not fully committed is a problem at a football club. And the players will feed on it and then we'll get the same old performances. Again, like, Ten Hag is passionate. Ten Hag wants to win. Ten Hag loves United. All of these things are good. Whether he's got the quality or not, I think we're all going to see it next season. If Ineos do their jobs right and take the pressures of the club away from him and just let him deal with the stuff on the pitch. But I go back to it again. If Ten Hag is not fully on board with his own contract and he doesn't feel safe at Manchester United, you get an underperforming, less committed Erik Ten Hag. And that means United performing shit again. And that's what nobody wants. Mr. Dacia Sandero. Hi, Adam. Where's that message just gone? He's just deleted it. Never mind. Can't wait to watch your next live show. Who's that? Talking to me? We got in here. Let's see. There's plenty of people arguing amongst themselves. Henry says, are you trying to cheer me up? I think that was after watching the England game. Rick says, things do get muddled in translation. My Dutch mate says F's his dogs. What he means is he breeds his dogs. Nice one. Yeah, it does. But, I mean, I'm not really bothered about that. I've always had an issue, like I said. The problem we've got is that United and Ten Hag are not agreeing on a deal. And for Ten Hag to come out and say, look, we've got a lot more to talk about, it's not done yet. He's not happy with how it goes in England compared to Holland. Not happy about that. You can't disguise that. That's not lost in translation. He thinks everything should run the way that the Dutch league runs. He's a very arrogant man as well, Ten Hag, let's not forget. Stubborn in his ways, and he thinks the Dutch ways are the best ways, and we've seen that's how Manchester United have failed in trying to implement that into our league. He thinks the system should work the same way. It's clear from what he just said in that interview, or working live there on TV, on Dutch TV. It doesn't work in the Premier League. He's not willing to accept it, it would seem, and that's Ten Hag's problem. But really now, that's moved on to being Ineos' problem. Did they actually know who they were getting into bed with Ten Hag? Because he's not a man to be messed with when it comes to negotiating. He has fought all season against the media. He has banned the media. He does not care for what he said in press conferences. He's not bothered for banning media. He's not bothered about opinions about him. You're dealing with a very, very strong personality in Ten Hag, and he will fight his corner without even thinking. So that's how you've got to look at it. The reality is that it needs to be sorted quite soon because pre-season's on the way, and like I said, he's going to want to have his say on transfers. That's going to be one of his things. I don't think money's going to be an issue for Ten Hag. I don't look at him that way. Ten Hag is a football man. Ten Hag is a man that just wants to win trophies. You can see it, and you can see the way he's talking. And the argument is whether he's good enough to do it or not. He's not greedy. He's got players. He's got ideas. He knows what he wants. I just don't know if he's going to get it at United. I just don't think he's going to get it with Ineos at United more than anything. Right, let's get into all of your chats, everybody. Let me just see now. What have we got? Still not agreeing. Please correct the mistake on title of the show. Sorry. That's the important bit right now. Don't worry about little mistakes like that, guys. If it's going to stress you out, then God help you. Just go and watch England. He didn't say that. He meant that talking to other managers while having a manager is not what happens in the Netherlands. Well, it does. It has to happen. Everybody has to have a backup plan. To say that is ignorance, because this is Manchester United. You're not talking about Ajax here right now. Ajax have backup plans. Every club has backup plans. You just don't hear about it. Welcome to Manchester United, Eric, where you hear about bleeding everything. That's just the way it is. No one else is bothered about any other football club but United in the media. And it's all built up to a point where, it's just what it is. Deal with it. He knows this already. 2 years at Manchester United. He knows it's different here in terms of the media. That is the one thing that's different. It's the media. It's not the way the clubs are run. No football club would ever run without a backup plan. There's always communication behind the scenes. That's a load of crap. It's a load of crap. When things are going bad, negotiations are happening elsewhere. It's just what happens in every single business. And Ajax actually run a tight ship. So if they're not able to produce certain players, if they're not able to compete in the Champions League, then obviously there is going to be conversations behind the scenes about other managers coming in who can get them there, because everything has to work in sync at Ajax. So that's it. That's where we're at with it. In the Netherlands, there is a trainers' union that forbids to talk to managers who have a contract at a club. Yeah, it's still going to happen. It doesn't necessarily have to come from... what I'm saying. I understand the rules and everything like that, but you're not going to know about it. It's as simple as that. You're not going to know about it. Steve Brindle, welcome to the chat, mate. Jack Off has just taken the membership off you. Jack, make sure you thank the man, Steve. Good to have you back in the chat, mate. The question is, can he walk the walk? We're going to find out come Christmas. Look, all of the chat regarding what happens in football doesn't matter. it's irrelevant what Ten Hag said. The fact that he's saying it, he's got his back up. He has got his back up. So, yeah, this is the Premier League, mate. This is how things are. There's a lot more scrutiny, especially at United. You just have to deal with it. Stop going on about things that are going wrong for you. Stop making excuses about football. Do what you do best. Get out there and coach a team. You've been given the chance, so let's just go for it. Let's go for it. Like I said, the biggest thing is that this deal isn't agreed. Everybody's arguing about what Ten Hag has been said. I could not give a shit, honestly. It pisses me off all the time about what he says. But my big issue is what happens on the pitch. I don't care about anything else. And if Ten Hag is not on board, then the team's not on board. And Ineos' big plan is falling apart from the start. They need to get Ten Hag on board and working with them. We need to get off to a good start next season. And any sort of uncertainty at all in this new regime, no matter where it is, whether it be at the top, whether it be Wilcox and Ten Hag, it falls apart. It falls apart instantly because it only works if results come on the pitch. Everything at United is judged on results. You can say everything's working all right behind the scenes. They're doing the job, and that's right. But if Ten Hag's not happy about something, he's falling out with another player, or he's not happy with a player that's in the club that Ineos has brought through or anything like that, and it's not going well on the pitch, it doesn't matter how well it's going on behind the scenes. Everybody knows that United are judged on results, and everybody knows the scrutiny comes even more when the results are shit. And that's the problem that we're always going to have at Manchester United. And Ten Hag knows this. He knows this. I think Ten Hag and how he gets away with it is just, he's got 1 year left. Ineos have got him in place. Let's go for it. Dan, I don't hate him. Get over it, mate. Honestly. Like, seriously, people who think I hate him, I'm just talking about what's happening. He's not happy with his deal. I just talked for about 10 minutes bigging Ten Hag up and why he should be actually the one in the power seat in this, but people seem to just ignore that. Take what you want from it, guys. These are the facts. If we don't have a manager on board with Ineos next season, this team is going to do shit. I don't care about what's going on behind the scenes. All I care about is what happens on the pitch. That's the fact. That's the big thing. It doesn't matter about anything else. And we're not going to get them results if Ten Hag is an unhappy chappy. Are we? We're not. It's not. We need to get him on board. There needs to be a cohesive unit going forward for United. If not, oh God, I worry for next season. Like, I just don't want to be watching the same football that we've watched constantly over the last year. We got away with it the first season. Last season was awful. The odd game here and there that bailed us out. Come on. Like, just sort it out. We're sick of waiting around, waiting for answers regarding the managerial situation. And now we've found out that there's more problems behind the scenes. Like, just agree. Something has to give. And if Ineos do end up pushing Ten Hag out from all of this, then they look like absolute fucking idiots. They do. Because they've made this decision now. So they have to... There has to be some give in the contract for Ten Hag as well. Like, we're not stupid. It's not all one-sided. Ten Hag has to fall in line. Yes, he does. But there has to be a bit of give from Ineos' side for Ten Hag as well. There has to be, because again, this is where I've always been on Ten Hag's side with not getting involved or too many people having a say on what happens. Like, forget this extra coach. The only man that should be picking coaches for Manchester United is Ten Hag. That's it. It's how it works. Like, the players coming in is built on Ineos. The coach is coming in. It's what Ten Hag wants to coach. He needs the men by his side. He's the one who should be picking them. I also think that it should be him picking in his fitness side of things, the fitness team, because that's not been there this season. He should be going to Ineos and I want him, and him. Like, the way he's said already, and we know Ten Hag is going down this road, and this is where the collision has happened, I think, with them both. It's like, we know for fact, we're talking on the paper on this morning, that Ten Hag wants Benny McCarthy to stay. We heard a few weeks ago that he's on his way. Manchester United and Ineos want him out, but Ten Hag wants to keep him. This is where the fight is, I think, and this is where it's coming to a pass. This is where everything is going to come to a head, and we're going to find out who's in charge. And I think Ineos will win in the end, but it's not going to be good for Man United. We've got no other managers out there to go for now. And if they do mess this up with Ten Hag, and he says, look, I'm out of here, then Ineos are looking like amateurs. And the whole fan base will turn on them. They will, because it's not the fact that Ten Hag has gone through all of this mess. By the way, I don't think he will. I think they will sort it out. But it's not helping anything. But if it did go worst case scenario, which would be drastically bad news for Ineos, it just sends us straight back down to where we was, which was the laughing stock. Right now, we're actually holding ourselves up. We're actually looking like a normal football club in a way. I'm happy with what Ineos were doing and looking at other managers. I'm happy that the negotiations were going on behind the scenes. You've just got to concentrate on your own job, and that's what Ten Hag has to do. In the end, he did it. Yeah, he's been asked the questions and he's answered them. That's not his fault the questions came his way. But again, them not agreeing on a contract or nowhere near agreeing on a contract yet is a problem, I feel. And a lot of people are going to look at it and go, Ineos are probably trying to force him out. I don't think they are, personally. It's not my opinion of what it is. A lot of people have said that to me personally, like maybe they are trying to just force him out by making it impossible for him. You don't want to make it impossible for Ten Hag. You want to make it now as easy as possible for him going into the new season. He needs the players in place. He needs the players that are nightmares and have caused him headaches galore gone. And now you've committed to him. I want to see commitment. That's all I wanted all along. Yeah, I've still got my opinion on Eric. I still think the jury's out. He's got to impress me a lot. But what I want to see is Ineos committing to their decisions. We've said this is what we want in transfers. They're going to have to do it with Ten Hag as well. And do you know what? There has to be a little bit of give. I think they'll sort it out sooner or later. But it's just a worry right now that Ten Hag is saying that they're not agreeing on certain things. Like, what is he trying to negotiate in? I personally don't think he's in a position to really negotiate hard after the season we've had. I do agree that he has got some points that he needs to get in there. I understand the security side of things, and from his side, he wants to make sure that he's safe in a job because he's fully committing to United. He wants to make sure it's okay for him. But it's got to be performance-based. It has to be performance. If he's big enough to say he's the right man for Manchester United, then he should be happy to sign a contract which is performance-based. That's how I see it. Like, look, go on. You've backed yourself. You've talked the talk. Let's see you walk the walk. You've been given the chance. Everyone's going to be behind it. But if it goes wrong, then it's your fault. And you have to walk away. Like, if he doesn't get to a certain mark next season, a certain position, or win a certain trophy or something like that, then Ten Hag is going to be walking next season, at the end of next season. We know it. I'm pretty certain this is what Ineos will be negotiating in. They're probably looking to try and put in a clause where they pay a certain percent and they're not looking to fork out a bleeding fortune just to get rid of another manager. They won't want 1 year in at Ineos and then everyone's laughing at them because they're getting rid of Ten Hag after 1 year and they're having to pay a stupid amount of compensation. It would make them look stupid. It would throw the whole 3-year project and everything they're doing out of the window completely. They need to make sure that Ten Hag is happy enough while covering themselves. And I think that's why it's probably taking a little bit of time. It has to be the only reason why it's taking that amount of time. Because they backed him and Ten Hag, he's literally got the contract now. I reckon he just wants to keep the same contract, personally. I do. I think he still wants his veto. I think he wants his power. And Ineos want to take it away from him. I'd be buzzing if they offered him an insulting contract. Gareth said, we have to stick with Eric Ten Hag. Now there is no way out there available. There's no one out there available right now. Steve has just dropped another 5 memberships. Thank you, Steve. Christopher Hooper, AJ, Moss United, Reduan United, and Daryl. Thank you very much, Steve. All of them guys are now new members of FUTV. You legend, mate. I've not seen you for a while, Steve, mate. Good to have you back in. It really is. if they had to go to a B4, it's a bit extreme. I think Erik Ten Hag must have told them he wants a decision. But yeah, Ten Hag wanted a decision, and Ineos have just gone to him early. So I hope Rashford turns up with fresh mind, Reddit mentality to start a new season with something to prove. David, honestly, mate, that's like the minimum he can do after the pathetic season that he put in last season. I don't even want to talk about him right now. He pisses me off. Ten Hag was actually slagging Rashford and Grealish. Oh, sorry to everyone who that actually hits, but it's just my way of saying that Ten Hag definitely didn't rate Grealish or Marcus Rashford this season. Not bothered about Grealish at all, but for him to come out and say that Marcus Rashford wasn't good enough on TV, good for you, Eric. It's about bleeding time. How come you didn't say it on British TV when it really mattered? It's like after the Lord Mayor's show, like everybody knew it. Well, you backed him. I still get wound up about Rashford, honestly. Oh, God, Rashford winds me up more than Ten Hag, by the way. It does. Let's see what else we got. Anthony says, this has been an interesting show, guys. Unfortunately, for all the wrong reasons. What was all that about? I don't know what you're on about, mate. Is it the argument in the chat? There's plenty of debate going on. 20-year marriage. She was playing hide the sausage with another bloke, so I've had to set up a new life for me and the kids. Okay, didn't expect that one. Steve, sorry about that, mate. That is a real shame, and I'm glad you're back, and I'm hopeful you've got your life back on track there, mate. Not easy to handle, mate. Not easy at all. And you know what I mean? Everyone experiences things like that, so hopefully everything is okay for you, mate, and you're moving forward. England looked like United in the second half, says Nick. Oh, God. Hey, Ten Hag in all the way, guys. Well, at least we don't get Southgate. I mean, that was proven there, wasn't it, tonight? God! Seriously, Gareth. Oh, I don't know. I'm lost with Gareth Southgate. He's got all the tools there, and how he cannot get anything out of that side baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. Adam 10 Liar will be shown the boot 6 or 12 months anyway because of not being in the top 4. It'll be interesting to see what happens next season with that. We're doing United. Mac Laporte means funny guys. It's a banter word for if you don't agree with someone. I'll have to use that one. I'll have to use that. What else have we got in here? Yeah, see you later, Rick. We're just having a bit of a conversation about it, mate. No time for idiots. Hi, Adam. We are Manchester United. Everyone needs to be signing off on the same hymn sheet. Yep, agreed. I have this feeling that Ineos are waiting to see if Ten Hag fails, and I bet it will be Southgate. I can't see it, mate. Honestly, I pray, actually. I just don't want it to happen. Don't want it to happen. Nice one, Erik Ten Hag. Rashford's brother will be on social media tonight complaining. Love it. Oh, that's the best thing he said tonight was about Rashford. Actually just coming out and outing him a little bit. He wasn't an outing. He just said he wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough. That's all he has to say after time, Ten Hag. And you know what? He won't have half the fan base that's against him actually against him. It's like, stop using excuses and actually just be honest and say, look, it's not good enough. We have not performed well enough. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Patient Adam. Don't know why I need to be patient. You mean with England? Or Eric? Or United? I talked about quite a few things all in one go there, guys. But yeah. Let's see. Fans keep using the cream to keep the rash away. Oh, guys, yes. Fair play people who back Ten Hag, but the delusional people who just get insulting when people who have a different opinion say something need to follow Ten Hag to his next club. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Like, guys, look, I've got an opinion. People slag me off for it. It's just the way of the world. It really is. And it's not right. Like, everyone's got an opinion. I just don't agree with a lot of Ten Hag's methods at all. I'm always open to being proven wrong. And this season, Ten Hag is going to have to do that for me because I'm going to need a lot of convincing after the shit that I watched last season. So, just my opinion. Like, he's in, and Ineos need to back him. Get the contract sorted, for God's sake. You're the ones that are going to have to pay the fee if you get rid of him. Oh, you've backed him now, so there you go. Get this contract sorted. 400 in. If we get 200 likes, I'll do another 5. Love your work, team. Thank you, Steve. You absolute legend. Steve said if we get another 26 likes in the bag, then he's going to donate more memberships. So that's up to you guys. If you want to put that like in, get us up to 200 for the late show. Again, this is United right now, innit? Respect to Adam. Divorce ain't easy, but it gets easier with time. Still going through it now. Ups and downs, guys. Ups and downs. But when you've got a partner like Kaz alongside you, it makes it all easier. So fed up of Ten Hag, I'd take Southgate. At least he wins matches. Come on, man. Oh, the United FC fans on. You cannot be serious with that one. We don't want Southgate. I've honestly not a chance I would swap Ten Hag for Gareth Southgate. Get away now. God. I think he's clearly talking about how in other leagues owners don't do around public talking to managers during a season and how a review has been publicly played out. They don't. It's just the media do. And he knows the media can. That's the difference. Like, you can't start blaming the Premier League, and in England it's different. You can talk about the media being different, but not the football, not the club, not how it operates. It's exactly the same way, except everything is known because the media want it to be in the public eye, and it sells pages. It sells pages. What else have we got in here? I'm not sure we're going to make that 200 mark. I think we need to finish up the video, guys, there. It was a great try from Steve to get everyone in, but it is getting late. I do need to get to sleep. Like Christ again, another 11 o'clock finish on streams. I actually thought it was just going to be one stream this morning and then the England game. And now it always turns into more. But guys, I'm always here. And whenever there is news to talk about, we have a good chat about it. We have an argument now and then. A little fallout. But we always come back for more. And that's what it's all about, guys. Good football chat. Good football banter. As always. And I want to say a thank you to you all again. Tuning in this morning, late tonight. And everyone who came across on T4. By the way, guys, drop across into the description if you want to join me for any more of the Euros watch-alongs. It wasn't a great one for England tonight, but we got the 3 points done. And we're on our way. It will get better in time. But for now, that is us all finished, guys. I appreciate you all massively, as always. Love the FUTV army. Love to see you back in the chat, Steve, as well, mate. I'm glad you're back on the right path. Oh, he's just gone and dropped 5 in anyway. That's the type of guy he is. 180 is enough. Steve's dropped 5 memberships. Gareth, Jonathan, Antoinette, Louise, and Joyce, welcome to the members club. Get on to Steve. Give him a massive thank you. And hopefully we'll see you back in again tomorrow, Steve. Good to get you back. I'd actually love to get you on T4 and a watch-along, mate, as well. If you can get signed up, we can get you on video and get you on screen actually having a bit of a chat, because that's what we can do over on that platform. So if you can, Steve, that'd be fantastic. The link is in the description. But guys, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Legends as always. All contributors, Steve especially, everyone who's got involved in the chat, everyone who's liked the video, give it a like on your way out. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Usual time, 12 o'clock with the updates. Unless anything breaks, I will see